What's up, guys? So the other day I asked if you guys had any fitness questions or needed any tips, and I'd be more than happy to, do my best to try and help out. And someone asked me, how can they build muscle or, get bigger muscles when they're skinny? I could relate to this because in high school I was 5'9", 120 pounds. My senior year I was like 138 because I wrestled, so that was my wrestling weight. I was 138 pounds, 5'9", so I was very skinny. And I didn't realize it until I got to college and everyone around me was much bigger. That's when I, got a gym membership and I was like, it's time to go. And since then, earlier this year in January, I hit my all-time high in terms of how much I weighed. So I went from 138 as a senior in high school. Now it's like 5 years later, about 5 years later. And I reached 205 pounds at one point. All right, so that's a pretty big gap in that amount of years. And my biggest tip, I'm sure you've heard this and I know it gets annoying after a while, but it's just eat more. I mean, that's it. So at the end of the day, we could break it down, bring out the scientific evidence and see which method works the best and all that, but at the end of the day, you have to eat in a caloric surplus. So going off of that, let me give you an idea, because you're probably like, I'm already eating a lot, I'm eating an extra sandwich a day, whatever the case may be. It varies by person. You gotta learn your body, you gotta know, how many calories you're intaking. Are you exercising? What are you burning off? Just even an estimate, especially when you're first starting off. How I recommend you go about this is to add an extra 200 to 500 calories a day on top of what you're already normally eating. Now, so here's where I went wrong. When I first started bulking, I really just wanted to get big, and it was my first month, so I had my newbie gains coming in, and I also was eating like a maniac. All right, I was on that, I don't like saying it because it's just corny, but the seafood diet. I literally ate everything I could, and it was junk, like 70% of the time, and I just gained so much like fat. Like I got big, in 1 month I put on 30 pounds. But it was just, most of it was fat, and I'm still trying to lose it right now during my cut. So I don't recommend going, 100% dirty. You could have some junk here and there. You could be a lot more flexible on a bulk than a cut. But you definitely need to eat more. I mean, I know you've probably heard it so many times, but that's, at the end of the day, that's what it is. You got to eat more. And also, if when you're lifting, how I would go about it is, I noticed my biggest gains was when I was actually doing lower reps and just heavier weight, and I was contracting the whole time. I still wasn't swinging, right? In my last video, we talked about this. But I was contracting, heavier weight. If I was curling, say, 20 pounds for 12 to 15 reps, I would drop down to like 6 to 8 reps. That's a sweet spot, 6 to 8 reps if you're going heavy. And I do, 30, 35 pounds. That was probably my max right there. My bench has increased drastically. My squat increased drastically. And that was that period of time where all my, when my strength was going up, so was my weight. And that was recently, actually, how I went from like 180 and I finally broke through to hit, to get past 200. And that's how I did it. So lower reps and heavier weight, that's how I would go about it. You could also do light weights and, higher reps. That could also work too. That's what I did the first 2 years. And I saw results, but I personally didn't think it was as drastic as the lower reps. That's just my situation. Other people would say otherwise. Everybody is different, all right? You just find what works for you and you stick with it. That's important. Consistency, right? Don't just eat an extra sandwich today and then 2 weeks later you didn't do anything else and then you're just like, oh man, I didn't gain any weight, You got to be consistent with it.
Yeah, I'm a genius. I know what I'm talking about. Subscribe to me. Blah, blah, blah. Look at me. Who's this guy? No, seriously, they'll subscribe. I know you're laughing right now. So you probably aren't. You're like, who is this guy? Who is this clown? With the chapped lips every time. My lips were chapped last video and they're kind of chapped now, man. Alright, see you next time.